please rise to greet the bride. You may all be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already, I ask you to please turn off all cell phones and cameras at this time, as Brooke and Frank would like you to be fully present in the joy of their wedding ceremony. Penny?
Love is a temporary madness. It erupts like volcanoes and then subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots have so entwined together that it is inconceivable that you should ever part. Because this is what love is. Love is not breathless. It is not excitement. It is not the promulgation of eternal passion. This is just being in love, which any fool can do. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away, and this is both an art and a fortunate accident. Those that truly love have roots that grow towards each other underground, and when all the pretty blossoms have fallen from their branches, they find that they are one tree and not two.
Thank you, Penny. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the wedding of Brooke and Frank. We're gathered here in this wonderful place to celebrate something magical. At the end of this ceremony, Frank and Brooke will finally be husband and wife. We're here not to witness the beginning of what will be, but rather to the next step of what already is. Their love for each other, and now their wish to spend the rest of their lives together as husband and wife. We rejoice and celebrate in the ways life has led them to each other and got them to the place where they now stand. Brooke and Frank would like to take this moment to thank you, their family and friends, who've traveled a far distance to spend this very special day with them. They're grateful for your presence here today. There are, of course, loved ones who are unable to be here today. Brooke and Frank, you know all those who love you and have ever loved you are here today in spirit. So let's take a moment to remember the special loved ones whose presence is missed today. The movie Serenity has a lot of meaning to Brooke and Frank. You'll have to ask them about it at the reception. And one particular favorite verse of theirs goes like this. You know what the first rule of flying is? Love. You can learn all the math in the verse, but you take a boat in the air you don't love, she'll shake you off just as sure as the turning of the worlds. Love keeps her in the air when she ought to fall down, tells you she's hurting before she keens, makes her a home. Boy, do those words ever apply to love and life. Now, you know that Brooke and Frank love all things Disney, as well as loving movies, and that they share a love of stories, verse, and whimsy. So be sure to listen closely to their ceremony because you'll be hearing more of these things all throughout. And speaking of Disney and movies, Sleeping Beauty believed in dreams. When she met the prince, she knew that she had danced with him once upon a dream. But just wishing doesn't make dreams come true. Even the fairy godmother, who was blessed with owning a magic wand, had to gently remind Cinderella that even miracles take a little time. And we certainly know that miracles do take time, especially in the case of Brooke and Frank, who took 9.5 years to get to this day. That long. Brooke and Frank, today you start a new chapter in your lives. One set of conflicts and challenges lies behind you, overcome, and new challenges lay ahead. Challenges you'll face now as husband and wife. You'll have magic on your side, a real power that will help you face those challenges. But the greatest challenge of all might be to remember what kind of magic this is. Not something you can conjure and control, but magic that grows from the love you share. It grows from the commitments you make to each other, the promises you've made over those last 9.5 years, and the vows that you'll make later in your ceremony. It grows from the choice you make every single day to continue to love each other, both because and in spite of whatever happens that day. You might not feel the magic every day. Sometimes you might even feel it's gone for good. But as long as you continue to put on love, to clothe yourself in it, to drape yourself in compassion, kindness, humility, patience, and forgiveness, as long as you continue to choose each other, to love and cherish each other with faith and tenderness, the magic will be there, waiting to blossom again. For love binds everything together in perfect harmony, and so it will bind the two of you. In the movie Mulan, she says to Shang, "I knew at once that you were meant for me. Deep in my soul, I know that I'm your destiny." So before we go any further, Brooke and Frank, let me ask you the questions that will determine your destiny. Frank, do you take Brooke to be your lawful wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, in good times and in bad, to love and to cherish, to take to Disney parks, for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Remember, he said he did. Brooke, do you take Frank to be your lawful wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, in good times and in bad, to love and to cherish, to stand or sit by him while he watches sports on TV, for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Remember, she said that too. A good marriage has not only love as its basis, it has respect, understanding, humor, and tenderness. Brooke and Frank's love for one another has all of these elements. With the words I'm about to share, all of you should be able to feel it as well. As I got to know Frank and Brooke well over the time we worked together, I asked them to share with me 4 things that they loved about each other. And here is what they told me secretly. Brooke, I know this is a surprise for you. You weren't expecting this, but Frank wanted to surprise you. You're going to need that. But I want you to listen closely, because first I'm going to read what Frank told me that he loves about you. He told me that the two of you love to go to South Haven, Michigan, and on one of your trips there, about 2 or 3 years ago, in a souvenir store, he saw a sign that had a saying on it that had so much meaning to him. And he took a picture of it, and he looks at that picture often because he feels that it describes the two of you so well and the love that he has for you. So here are the things that are on that sign. Number 1, the essence of life is to care. The two of you started to care and do things for one another as your relationship grew, and that care has grown over your years together. He loves that you care enough to share things with him that help him become a better person. Number 2, the adventure of life is to learn. He loves that the two of you are always learning things about one another and that you learn from each other. He loves that you taught him to love things like Disney, musical theater, and reading books that he would have never known about otherwise. Number 3, the secret of life is to dare. He loves that you dare to do things that you never thought you'd do. Things like running marathons, riding a Segway, or going to NASCAR events. He loves that you joined him in his passion for physical activities and sports, and that you let him be your rabbit, pushing you to your full potential and sharing the experience of doing things together. Number 4, the challenge of life is to change. Frank loves that you love him enough to care, to learn, and to dare, and to change. He knows and loves that you have changed your life and his so that the two of you can share it together. Change is not easy, but it's brought him more happiness with you than he ever imagined. And lastly, I know this is more than 4 things, but this one is the best of all. The joy of life, number 5, is to love. Brooke, Frank loves you with all of his heart. If you could have heard the love in his voice as he told me all of these things, and the warmth and the admiration and the true love in his heart, you will truly know how much he truly loves you. Yep. Frank, here's what Brooke told me about you. She prefaced it with 4 things I love about Frank. I'm not really sure how you can work any of this into a ceremony, but here goes. Number 1, I love how much he cares about things, even really little things. He cares and worries and thinks about things so deeply. At my time of need recently, he was so sweet and gentle and such a good partner. He took such care with me. Number 2, I love that he's affectionate. Even after all these years, he always reaches out to take my hand. And he looks out for me and always makes sure I'm safe, whether we're crossing the street or running in a race. He shows me his love with his worry sometimes, and I feel cherished as a result. Number 3, I love his sense of humor. He's got a quirky sensibility, and it's not always easy to make him laugh, but I love it when I can get him. But I love even more how happy he is when he gets me laughing. Number 4, conversely, I love how serious he is. He takes life very seriously. When he's committed to something or someone, he's all in. He fights for it, he worries about it, he tries really hard. He's so focused that sometimes he misses the sunshine, but I love that he cares enough to worry about the dark. And I guess it's my job to make sure he stops to look for the sunshine at least some of the time. And this is also more than 4 things. Sorry about that. But here's what Brooke said to close, Frank. I waited a long time for him to show up, and then a long time to make up his mind that I was the one and to propose. But he absolutely was worth the wait. The exchange of vows and rings are the central, most essential part of a wedding ceremony. Vows are promises made for a lifetime, and rings are an outward and physical symbol of an inward commitment made in your vows. Brooke and Frank, at this time, I'll ask you to exchange your vows, your words from the heart. Frank, you can go first.
I, Frank, choose you, Brooke, to be my wife, my partner in life, and my one true love. I will cherish your friendship and love you today, tomorrow, and forever. I will love you faithfully through the best and the worst, through the difficult and the easy. I promise to live life with you and to laugh with you, to stand by your side and sleep in your arms. I promise to always listen to you, to work with you, and to encourage you to be the best that you can be. I promise to always keep you warm. I'll promise always to take you to Disney theme parks around the world. I promise to always push you up the hills in a race and in life. As I give you my hand to hold, So I give my life, oh, sorry, screw that up. As I have given you my hands to hold, so I give you my life to keep. Thank you.
At least I'm not the only one. Okay. One of my favorite quotes about love is from the movie Juno. It goes, "In my opinion, the best thing you can do is find a person who loves you for exactly what you are. Good mood, bad mood, ugly, pretty, handsome, what have you. The right person will still think the sun shines out of your butt. That's the kind of person worth sticking with." Frank, I love you as you are, and I love that you saw me right from the beginning. I've never been afraid to be myself with you, and that, more than anything else, tells me that we are right for each other. I, Brooke, choose you, Frank, to be my husband, my partner in life, and my one true love. I will cherish our friendship and love you today, tomorrow, and forever. I will love you faithfully through the best and the worst, through the difficult and the easy. I promise to live life with you and to laugh with you, to stand by your side and sleep in your arms. I promise to always listen to you, most of the time, to work with you, and to encourage you to be the best that you can be. I promise to always bring out the kid in your heart and to make sure that you always have fun and laughter in your life. I promise not to complain too much about the continuous ESPN in our home. And most importantly, I promise to always buy you ice cream. As I have given you my hand to hold, so I give you my life to keep.
I'll now ask you to seal the vows you've just made by the giving and receiving of rings. May I have the rings, please? These aren't the rings.
No,
Those are
not enough the rings.
Those aren't your rings?
No.
Oh boy.
Those aren't the rings.
Annie, what did you do with our rings?
I don't know what happened to the rings.
Surprise.
You need to take a moment to... For those of you who don't know, this was a surprise for Brooke. I guess you kind of figured that out. The wedding ring has been a traditional symbol of commitment and enduring love that, like a circle, has no beginning and no end. Brooke and Frank, these rings are your gift to each other. They're the outward and visible signs of an inward bond and a spiritual bond that unites your two hearts in love that has no end. As often as either of you looks at this symbol, I hope you'll remember this moment, as well as your love for each other and the life that you're building together. Frank, I'm going to ask you to please place the ring on Brooke's finger.
Turn the other way. Okay.
And continue to hold your hands together and look into each other's eyes. And Frank, I'm going to ask you to please repeat after me. Brooke, with this ring, I be wed.
I be wed.
I offer you my hand
I offer you my hand
and my heart.
and my heart.
as I know they will be safe with you.
as I know they will be safe with you.
All that I am, I give to you,
All that I am, I give to you,
and all that I have, I share with you.
and all that I have, I share with you.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a reminder
as a reminder
that I shall love you
that I shall love you
in all times,
in all times,
in all places,
in all places,
and in all ways,
in all ways,
forever.
forever.
Whoop. Good. Please place the ring on Frank's finger. Okay. Continue to hold your hands together. Got it? And Brooke, if you would, please repeat after me. Frank,
Frank,
with this ring,
with this ring,
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
I offer you my hand
I offer you my hand
and my heart,
and my heart,
as I know they will be safe with you.
as I know they will be safe with you.
All that I am, I give to you,
All that I am, I give to you,
and all that I have, I share with you.
and all that I have, I share with you.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a reminder
as a reminder
that I shall love you
that I shall love you
in all times,
in all times,
in all places,
in all places,
and in all ways,
and in all ways,
forever.
forever.
The engagement ring is a symbol of promise and intention. Now the intention is realized and the promise is fulfilled. Frank, please take the engagement ring off Brooke's hand and place it over her left ring finger to symbolize the love that has brought you together and to show that love will always protect and sustain your marriage. Looks very pretty. Now, in addition to their vows and rings, Brooke and Frank have chosen to include a unity glass ceremony to symbolize the combining of their lives. So I asked them to please come over to the table and stand behind the table as I explain to your guests what we're going to be doing. There are 2 flutes of glass crystals, each here filled with beautiful colored glass crystals. Each flute of glass represents their separate lives, their friends, and their separate families. Now, Brooke and Frank will each pour the contents of their flute into the crystal vase. As the crystals from each individual flute are blended together, they symbolize the joining of their separate lives, friends, and family into one union, the beginning of their journey together as husband and wife. As these crystals are forever combined, so are their lives forever combined, unable to ever be separated again. Once they return home, Brooke and Frank will take these combined glass crystals to an artist. The artist will heat the crystals, melting them together, further cementing the bond between them. The glass will then be made into a beautiful glass sculpture, which will always remind Brooke and Frank of this wonderful day and how they combined their lives into Ohana, family. Brooke and Frank, when your sculpture is made, remember this. The sculpture, like your marriage, requires great care. Cherish it, polish it, and protect it from any harm. Keep from it that which can break or chip it, and it will always remain, like your marriage, a thing of beauty. As wedding ceremonies come to a close, it's usually time for some advice. So I call upon Cindy to go to the podium to share some wise words of advice from Robert Fulghum that pertain not only to life, but also to marriage.
All of what I really needed to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom was not at the top of graduate school mountain, but there in the sandbox at nursery school. These are the things I learned. Share everything, play fair, don't hit people, put things back where you found them, clean up your own mess, don't take things that aren't yours, say sorry when you hurt somebody, Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Give them to someone who feels sad. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day. Take a nap every afternoon. Be aware of wonder. Everything you need to know is in there somewhere. And it's still true, no matter how old you are, when you go out into the world, it is best to hold hands and stick together.
Thank you, Cindy. And now it's time for me to share some advice with you. Frank and Brooke, your marriage, like life, will hold many surprises. Some you will welcome, while others will test the strength and flexibility of your bond. Be kind and patient with each other. Remember that your love for one another is your greatest strength. When times get rough, as they do in any marriage, I want you to remember the love that brought you here today. And remember that even though the clouds may hide the sun is still there. And so the clouds will part, and the sun will shine once more. May your years together be filled with sunshine, good health, and the continued growth of your love for one another. With those words in mind, and with the love and blessings of your people or family gathered here and your friends, it is my honor and delight to pronounce you husband and wife. Frank, you may kiss your bride. Honored guests, please rise to greet for the very first time the newlyweds.